Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm James Nelson Brink, and we are one community. Today, we're going to be talking about Yuzu. Yes, the beautiful sauce that you put on top of anything that's Japanese. It's a citrusy, tasty thing. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the emulating software, which was nice and which was, and I say which was, even though you can kind of get it, there's a lot of copies out there, it's gone. It's been nuked. It has an artillery shell from Helldivers 2. It's a nightmare, and they folded fast. But we're gonna get into that at the end of like probably what really did this in, and it makes it a little less black and white. Which with emulation, it's always never black and white. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, bash that bell with your crowbar. Okay, let's do this. Almost a week after the initial reports that Nintendo was suing the company Tropic Hayes LLC for its Yuzu emulator used to play purchased copies of Nintendo Switch titles onto non-Nintendo devices, Tropic Hayes and Nintendo have reached a settlement. To be fair, is it a settlement or was it just they had a lot of dirt on Tropic Hayes and it wasn't a settlement? It was like a hostage situation almost, but we'll get to that at the end. While the settlement is waiting approval from a judge, Tropic Hayes has already announced that it will be shuttering Yuzu and its 3DS emulator Citra, which man, Crossfire, man, that sucks. Along with the shutdown of both its emulators, Tropic Hayes will also pay Nintendo $2.4 million, which I don't know how much money they've made from all of Yuzu and those donations, but they were making $30,000 at least from the Patreon page, so who knows what else. Other reparations from Tropic Hayes include ceasing all development, maintenance, distribution, updates, and hosting of Yuzu, offering to the public, providing marketing, advertising, promoting, selling, testing, hosting, cloning, distributing, or otherwise trafficking in Yuzu or any source code of or features of Yuzu. Surrendering the URL to Nintendo, so they can't even own Yuzu anymore, which is like, that's a crazy ask. Surrendering all Nintendo-related hardware used for making or testing of Yuzu. This will also be at the employee level, and the deletion of all copies of Yuzu and Citra and any development tools used in order to create the emulators, such as Tegra RCM, GUI, Hecate, Atmosphere, Lockpit, RCM, ND Dump Tool, and X Dump Fuse, Tegra Explorer, and hand over any physical circumvention devices and modified Nintendo hardware to Nintendo. It also agrees to not delete any other evidence that infringes Nintendo's IP rights. And finally, Tropic Hayes is prohibited from making any similar product that would infringe on Nintendo's IP, which is interesting. So they can still make Sony stuff, but then Sony's going to come after them. Honestly, they should change the field that they work in. Maybe become software engineers somewhere else, because they really got them by the huevos kind of thing. Like, it's not looking good. In the joint filing, Tropic Thunder has sided with Nintendo and its claims that Yuzu was a gateway that allowed widespread piracy of Nintendo games, specifically Yuzu's supposed ability to circumvent Nintendo's encryption in their games and hardware. The case cites the large-scale piracy of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild as its prime example, and I want to know numbers, and it's just the crappy thing is I don't know if we're ever going to get numbers on this, so yeah, we'll see about the supposed widespread, but I wouldn't be surprised if they put some tooling in, some secret wear into that game to then detect where it was getting played. I wouldn't be surprised. I bet you that, honestly, if I was a Nintendo developer, I would probably be doing that, as it's an easy way to detect, but at the same time, it is a little bit of a privacy violation. So, but you read those terms and conditions when you play those games, telemetry is oftentimes in there. It's a thing. Don't at me. Tropic Hayes released the following statement on its Discord. Hello, Yuzers and Citra fans. We write today to inform you that Yuzu and Yuzu's support of Citra are being discontinued. Effective immediately, Yuzu and its team have always been against piracy. We started the project in good faith out of the passion for Nintendo and its consoles and games, and we're not intending to cause harm. But we see now that because our projects can circumvent Nintendo's technological protection measures and allow users to play games outside of authorized hardware, they have led to extensive piracy In particular, we have been deeply disappointed when users have used our software to leak games content prior to its release and ruin the experience for legitimate purchasers and fans. We have come to the decision that we cannot continue to allow this to occur. Piracy was never our intention, and we believe that piracy of video games and other video game consoles should end. Effective today, we'll be pulling our code repositories offline, discontinuing our Patreon accounts and Discord servers, and soon shutting down our websites. We hope our actions will be a small step towards ending piracy of all creators' works. Thank you for your years of support and for understanding our decision. Despite Tropic Hayes' claims, it was acting in good faith with an emphasis that it never supported piracy. Several pieces of evidence alluded to the contrary. And we're going to get to that contrary. While Nintendo successfully shut down Yuzu at the company level, Yuzu has an open source codebase and was available for review and public development, meaning that Yuzu and Citra's use will most likely continue on an unofficial level. People can essentially clone it and continue development on it. And if you hear a dog barking, it's Loki. He's not happy about this news either, as Yuzu was honestly a really good emulator. Yuzu is the second emulation program that has flatlined in recent years due to Nintendo, with Skyline also falling to legal pressure from Nintendo's vigilant preservation of its IP. This last bit is important if true. There are rumors going around that the Yuzu employees were giving each other ROMs, copies of games in Discord, and on top of other things, which would explain why they folded so fast. At the end of the day, they got sloppy and did alleged illegal things, and that's the rumor going around. That's the thing at the end that I told you to wait for at the end of the video. So, yeah, it's if this last part, the alleged part, is true, I can see why they folded so fast. They had so much dirt on them, and it sounded like Nintendo had spies in the Yuzu Discord that they folded so quick. It's not even, I don't blame them. Like, they probably got out of jail time, and if they didn't fold like they did, they probably were seeing jail, as this tends to happen with this type of stuff. So with the evidence, with everything, this is a gray area. I'm against piracy. I think you should be paying the developers if you want to play the game. I know sometimes it's hard to have the money to buy games, but with a lot of free games out, with a lot of other things, there's always games for you to play. If you're going to play a game, support the developer, pay for it. I've always been on the side of against piracy. I like Yuzu for being able to play my games on my deck and my PC, but that's it. Like, the amount of Nintendo games I've bought is crazy, and the amount of games I do not play that I've bought from Nintendo is crazy. It sucks that supposedly pirates ruined it for the rest of us. If Nintendo teamed up with the Yuzu team and just said, hey, look, we're going to make it easy for verification and all that, then maybe we could have come to an agreement on something, and they could have opened up a storefront and allowed downloading of games that we bought onto PC. That was never going to happen, of course. You know, it's a pipe dream. But there were options, I think. Nintendo just had enough dirt to scorch earth this thing, and we'll see. There might be other emulators that are in trouble here. If you like emulating on your devices and you're doing it legally, mind you, that's a pretty big emphasis, then you might want to go grab all the emulators you can. I'm probably a little bit on the counter with a lot of gamers. I really do think you should be paying as much as you can, in the sense of, like, don't pay more than like the $40 game is, but you should be paying for games, especially ones that you love. If you don't love it and you're playing it, then why are you playing it? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't even get people looking for deals and getting games that are normally like $30 for like $5. It doesn't help the developer out. And if you want more games from the developer, you're probably going to want to pay a little bit more. Once again, biased. I myself am a software engineer and also a game developer. I release software. I'm going to be releasing a game, and I want to continue releasing games, and I want to be paid for my hard work. Doing open source stuff and all that is fun, but at the end of the day, I have kids to feed and everything. This is really tricky. People do not look at the full picture oftentimes of what piracy can harm. Yes, these are big corporations, but the devs oftentimes are not. A lot of small not even AAA developers, but indie developers, this hurts. People are pirating they pirate everything and they justify. And at the end, like, to say at the end of the day again, it's just not right. So that's my take on this. It sucks that we lost Yuzu. It really does. It sounds like some stupid mistakes were made, and at least it's open source, so we still have that software. I want to know what you think in the comments below. If you've been following me long enough, you know my take on all this stuff. I want to know what your take is on the Yuzu, on the piracy, on the ROMs thing, just everything. What do you think? I want to know. Also, check out all the goodies in the description below, including coffees and other things to help support the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys out next time. Peace out. Later!